What's your message to President Trump?
Thank you.
My message is always be good Lord fearing. Thank you for everything that he's done for all of us, not just me and my newfound family.
What's next for you?
My next is to regroup, go home, and find out the nefarious actors in our local homes and towns, because we got to take care of our own house, and it starts there.
Trump comes out and says, this is an issue that, you know, I need you guys to come out for me. I need you guys to show up for me. It may mean taking to the streets. Do you think that the people who just served, you know, years or months or weeks in prison would do that again for him?
I can't speak for everybody, but I can speak for myself, and the answer to that question would be yes. I think that Donald Trump is the only politician that we've seen in a long time that is not only willing to keep his word, but also who's not willing to back down when he's up against the wall. I mean, this man's been indicted. He's been attacked. He's been shot at. He's been through hell. This man is not a quitter. And so if this man really needed us to show up somewhere, I can't speak for anybody else, but since he's not going to quit on the American people, I have no absolute right to quit on him. So I would show up.
And of course, MSNBC's Alex Wagner at the end there. She's been in Washington covering these pardons and their aftermath, and she joins us now. Alex.
Chris. It is, yeah.
What have you been hearing? Who have you been talking to?
Well, I have spent the better part of last night and all of today outside the D.C. jail, where the scene has been historic in a lot of ways. The sense of elation on the part of the January 6 inmates who have been freed and the family members who have been holding vigil for them for over 900 days, the implications for our democracy, and exactly what you outlined in your intro there. Just the prospects for the Trump presidency in terms of a squad of at least, 11 or 1,200 people who are willing to go to the mat for this man. One father who was also in the January 6th insurrection told me yesterday night he'd be willing to die for Donald Trump. Their feelings of commitment to Donald Trump, the man, and his cause have only strengthened and increased in the intervening years, and they are fired up. They see this as a massive vindication of their cause and their belief in someone who is really talked about in savior terms. It's been just very eye-opening. I'm sitting here, Chris, with Daniel Hodges. He's a Metropolitan Police officer who was attacked by the mob on January 6th. And yesterday, he helped protect Trump's second inauguration. I should note he's speaking today in a personal capacity. Officer Hodges, it's really so essential to have your voice in a moment like this. And I just wonder, from the experience you had on January 6th, I think a lot of people remember the violence that was perpetrated against you. It was on a lot of newscasts, to having to go protect the man who, in many ways, instigated the mob that sought to hurt you on January 6th. What has the last 24 hours been like for you?
It's obviously not where I was hoping we would be at this point in time. But, that's the thing about democracy, is you have to believe in it even when the other guy wins. You can't just believe in it when your guy wins.
Yeah.
So, and part of my job is providing law enforcement services to everyone in D.C., visitors and residents and, members of Congress, the president, vice president, whoever needs it. So, yeah, despite any personal feelings I have, I do the best job I can with whoever needs it.
What did it feel like? I mean, I was at D.C. jail. I think at one point you were assigned to be backup in case you needed to go to D.C. jail. What has it been like to watch some of the most violent, notorious offenders from January 6th be pardoned or have their sentences commuted?
Yeah, the die was cast on November 5th for this, right? It's what Donald Trump has been saying all along he was going to do. He recorded these people singing or the Pledge of Allegiance and played it as a national anthem, playing it as rallies. He's made no secret of his mutual adoration for these zealots. So it was completely predictable that this was going to happen, but at the same time, it's very depressing to see actually unfold.
What struck me in my conversations that I had with people today is the way in which the sense of victimhood and grievance has been completely reversed. And I want to play a little bit of a clip from one inmate who was released today because of President Trump's decisions, and the way in which they have totally mapped criminality onto the other side. Let's just take a listen to that.
Was there ever any moment in jail where you were like, why am I here? Did you ever have any frustration with President Trump? Did you ever feel like he had landed you guys in jail?
No, absolutely not, because I believe he really just wants to make America great again. Now, why was I sitting in prison when Anthony Fauci is loose? Why am I sitting in prison when Liz Cheney is loose? Why do those people get pardons? Because they're guilty, but they were never brought to justice. And yet me, a mom, I made a mistake and broke a window at the Capitol. I'm sorry, but do I have to lose my whole life for it when we have these criminals running the government that now have pardons? That bothered me. That bothered me.
The real criminals now, apparently, according to the inmates who've been charged and convicted of crimes, are Liz Cheney and Anthony Fauci. When you hear that, I mean, first of all, how worried does that make you for your own safety?
Well, I'm still a DC cop, so January 6th was not the first time I've been threatened. It's not going to be the last. So I'm prepared for whatever comes my way. But with regards to these people saying that they're the real victims, they've shaped their entire personalities around this one man. It's not hyperbole to call this a cult. So if they were to see the truth about what happened, then to come to terms with that would just shatter who they are. And that's a degree of self-reflection and self-growth that's difficult for anyone, much less some of these people. So it's much easier for them to perform these mental gymnastics and create this reality where they're victims rather than accept the truth.
Do you know the status of the man who attacked you on January 6th?
You're going to have to be more specific.
We know that one of the officers was receiving updates when they're automatic updates that victims of crimes get when the perpetrators have been released. Have you received any of those today?
I've received 2, I believe, so far.
And what was that like?
It just, formalizing the pardon process, I guess, for me.
Is it frustrating?
Sure. I mean, these people, I don't think that, especially the violent ones, deserve pardons. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Of course, it's frustrating.
Do you wonder why more law enforcement officers who were part of that melee, who were attacked that day, haven't spoken out? I was talking to Michael Fanone today, and he thinks it's inexcusable that law enforcement has been so quiet, that it's literally a handful of voices like yours and his that have had to carry aloft the story of what actually happened that day. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can only speak for myself, and speaking out at this point isn't their job. If they fought to protect democracy on January 6th, they did their job, and they have their reasons. Would I be happier if more people spoke out? Sure. But, if they don't want to, if they want to protect their peace, I understand.
Hey, Daniel, it's Chris Hayes in New York, and I just wanted to jump in with one last question to you, because I've seen that footage and I've listened to you talk, and I want to thank you personally for doing your job. What do you remember? What was in your head and heart physically when in that moment when you're in the door? Because it's footage we've seen, and I've often thought, what can you recapture what that moment was like to live through? Well, sure. I was pinned against the metal door frame. The police shield on my left was holding my arms in place against my side, so I was unable to defend myself. I was standing straight up, so I couldn't get any leverage on my legs, which allowed the person you see here free to assault me. He grabbed the front of my gas mask, punching me in the face several times with it, ripped it off my head, dislodging my helmet, ripped away my riot baton, and beat me in the head with it. I was getting crushed, exposed to all the OC spray, CS gas in the air, couldn't reach any of my defensive implements, and enduring what, if we hit someone in the head with a riot baton, that's considered lethal force. So I was enduring lethal force. I thought that I could very easily be maimed or killed if I had taken another blow like that, or become a liability to my colleagues. So I was afraid. And I did the only thing I could do at that point, which was call for help. Thankfully, my colleagues were able to get me back from that position, and I fell back to the rear, convalesced for a time, but everybody we had needed to be in the fight because the fight wasn't over. So I got back out there as soon as I could. The individual that is seen in that footage grabbing that gas mask, it is my understanding, has been pardoned by the President of the United States, Officer Daniel Hodges, with Alex Wagner doing fantastic work. Thank you, Alex, so much. And thank you, Officer. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Thanks, Chris.